Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda. I'm a small reseller. I currently sell on eBay and Niknax. Niknax, if you're not familiar with it, is a new marketplace that is hosted on district.net, and it was started by Jocelyn, the crazy lamp lady. So if you haven't checked it out yet, certainly go do so. I do have a link to my store in Niknax in the video description, but go check out my store. Go check out all the other sellers too. There's a lot of great stuff on there. There's a whole lot of sellers that have onboarded. The listings are, I believe, over 16,000 now, probably higher. A very small percentage of that is mine. But definitely go over and check it out. It's really cool. I've been enjoying being on Niknax. I did recently take on yet another selling adventure, and I was approved to sell on Whatnot. So I have pulled a few more things to get ready for my very first live sale coming up. All right, so this first item is a satin glass vase. And the floral decals on here, well, they're just that. They're decals that are applied, so they're not covered in anything like a glaze or glass on top. They're kind of reddish orange, blue, and purple all around it. And this vase, this is New Orleans, and then it says made in Italy right here. It's a very shiny sticker though. It's hard to get it just right in the light for you to see it. But it's a really cool, I would say cased glass, clear, cased over white. And it just has this really pretty satin sheen to it. I know the light kind of washes it out, but you can kind of see it on there. Not all of that is just light reflection. It's kind of showing you that little bit of sheen to it. But it's really pretty. It has a gold trim up here on the top. It's like half of it is pretty good, and then you get over to the other half and it's a little bit worn, which, you know, normal age wear kind of thing. I wish it was all more intact, but there's no chips, there's no cracks or any damage, just a little bit of wear to the gold paint, which is, it's pretty typical. No chips or cracks anywhere else on it. It's clean on the inside, no stains or anything. It's just a really, really pretty dainty vase. I actually really do like this one. Here's a couple comps for similar vases, not the exact ones, but New Orleans satin glass vases, just to kind of give you an idea of roughly where they land price-wise in general. I think the two that I'm showing have birds on them, so I feel like that adds a little something extra to it. But nonetheless, I think the comps were for $40 to $60, and I would kind of expect this vase to land somewhere in that, give or take. So not bad. Very pretty vase. I think it was 9 3/4 inches tall and weighed about 1.5 pounds. So shipping wise, not horrible, not ideal, but not horrible either. But I plan on including it. So, all right, guys, this next one is a pewter plate. And I've seen online some folks refer to this as an ashtray, and it could be, but for some reason I feel like it's a child's plate. Something about the alphabet being embossed around the edge makes me feel like it's a child's plate versus just an ashtray. But this was made by Pewterex. I feel like a lot of their pieces were like 1950s, 60s, 70s in there. And when I search for this on like eBay and stuff, I find it with the little dashes and without. And it does, for some reason, make a difference, at least on the eBay search, whether those are in there. So, you know, I'm not sure if in the title of the listing, if you put it just as it is here, and then in the description, put it all as one word without the dashes, if that would still help pull the listing no matter which way a buyer searches it. But I don't know, just food for thought. I don't know that works, but something to think about. So it's got some of the typical kind of age wear. I think this is kind of like oxidation sort of thing, causes this little bit of pitting and stuff, but you know, not bad. It still feels pretty smooth, but definitely some minor age wear on there. I couldn't find any comps on this exact little plate, but I did find some comps just in general for Pewterex things. And you know, like this kind of gives like a more rustic feel to it. I really like it, and I think it would be great decor, but it's more rustic than a lot of their other pieces that seem more artsy, mid-century modern, you know, that kind of stuff. But they do, you know, tend to sell for decent prices. So Pewter X, just something to keep an eye out for. So this next one here is, I believe, called a double boiled egg cup. And it has the, well, they're birds, but there's some kind of like a mythical bird. I'm not 100% positive if they're a phoenix, a bird of paradise, some kind of pheasant, turkey. I don't know, but they are birds. And then they have floral, a pretty typical Oriental Asian, you know, specifically Japan sort of design and everything on here. It's under glaze, blue transfer print. It's pretty well done though. It seems to be pretty even and everything on the edges, and I don't see any chips or cracks anywhere to the ceramic. Looks clean on the inside. This here is a little like debris in the glaze is what it looks like. Not really a chip in the glaze. It's more like a tiny glaze skip with like dirt or something that got in the way is what it looks like. Underneath here, it has some numbers here. It has some Japanese characters. And then it says Noritake. It has the M in wreath, made in Japan. I haven't done much investigating on this yet. There's a little bit of mild staining. It's hard to tell on the camera because of the light. But you can kind of see it like up here. And I did try to wash that off a little bit. I'm sure you could probably take Barkeeper's Friend to it and possibly get it off, or try anyway. But it doesn't hurt anything, especially on the underside. So kind of a heavy duty little egg cup and everything. I only have the one, you know, but comp wise, I'm not positive where it would fall. I would guess somewhere at $10 give or take. All right, staying with the egg cup theme here. I have a set of two smaller, more standard or regular size egg cups. And these are really just simple, cool looking little lusterware egg cups. You can see on the foot here, this is a good indication of not high value porcelain. You can tell this was, you know, a quick job in the factory, right? Because you can see where the iridescent, the pearl iridescent glaze, I don't know, they must have ran out or something, because they said, well, we're not going to glaze the whole thing. But what I do like about this piece is that it shows you, without damage to it, it shows you the, you know, orange paint and then that iridescent glaze over top. It's, see how matte the orange is? And you always think of this like high polished luster look orange, but that's what it looks like before the luster. So it's entirely hand painted. There's no chips, cracks. I don't believe there's even crazing on them. They both are stamped in green with this made in Japan mark. But yeah, there's a little bit of wear, minor age wear to some of the gold band at the top, but otherwise they're both in great shape. I would anticipate these selling for, I don't know, maybe 12 to 18, somewhere in there, but we'll see. Okay, I showed these in another video already, but I decided I'm gonna maybe throw them in. I think so anyway. They'll be in a sale at some point, but I think I'm planning on putting them in this one. So they're just these little, well, they're these little sewn, sort of like patchwork, you know, and this is sort of like a burlap almost, maybe. I don't know. What's the right word for this kind of cloth? Like a canvas sort of cloth, you know? So they're hand decorated, handmade little pieces and stuff. And I think there's one for kind of every like major holiday on here, roughly. I don't know why this leaf is down here. I don't know. You know, they're very naive, rudimentary. Would that be a good word? So this one here, I guess this just represents summertime. I don't know, but that's cute. They did the little black buttons for the seeds. That's cute. And this one, I guess you could just go as country theme, or you could go Valentine's Day with it, right? These all came in an estate sale auction lot, like a craft sewing thing that I had done over a couple years ago. I have no idea where to place value on them. They're literally something that, you know, I'll probably start a bid at $4 and see where they go on them. I really don't know. I think they're really cute though. I think that somebody out there who does scrapping, or, you know, even scrapbooks, or, you know, other sewing crafts and things like that, I think these would be cute. I think this is my favorite one out of them all. I love how they did this like black and white checker thing down here. instead of just black. I think that just added, I don't know, a little bit of something to it. All right, guys. So everybody, most everybody anyway, is pretty familiar with Avon and the multitude of different types of cologne bottles and things that they've put out. You'll see the cars everywhere. Definitely the cars everywhere. But Avon, you know, they've done a lot of cute stuff over the years. They're not, typically anyway, they're not super high value, but cute nonetheless. You know, these are very retro. Look at the decal on here. And they're both, you know, like this is a coffee pot and the other one's a teapot. So, I mean, that is like a very late 60s, 70s, you know, vibe going on. Each of the lids, this one's more chrome, the other one's more like a gold or brass tone, but they both have a little minor wear to the paint on them. But they're both actually good and clean on the inside. They're both empty also. There's nothing left. This guy here, he still has remnants of his sticker, but all the verbiage it's gone. But the decal looks good. You know, overall, this paint and everything on it looks really good. I really don't see any loss or anything on it. I don't see any chips or cracks. So, you know, it's a cute decor piece to put in your kitchen, put in your bathroom maybe even. I don't know. But it's bright. It's happy. This one here, and I plan on selling these, you know, in a lot together because they look like they kind of go together. So same thing, you know, his lid has a little minor wear to the gold tone there. But I love this graphic. That is adorable. That is them 70s birds, man. That's all of it right there. Looks like there's a little minor scratch to his orange paint, but outside of that, he has no damage. And his sticker is still there and in good condition. But he's also empty. What does it say? New York, New York. Keep out of reach of children. Oh, this one was a foam and bath. Cotillion. Cotillon. Foam and bath oil. Huh. Looky there. But I'll warn you guys on this orange one. It has this handle which makes you think, oh, it's safe to pick it up. See? It's not safe. I almost had a tragedy earlier when I went to pick this up and he didn't go with the handle. So, just keep that in mind. But it does sit securely on there. It's not tight enough it'll hold the weight of this, you know, little piece, this glass bottle piece on here. In general, Avon pieces don't bring a lot of value, whether it's their jewelry, their cologne bottles, collectibles of any kind, ornaments, whatever. They tend to not carry a huge value to them. I would expect these just because of the decor that they are and stuff, the decor element that they have, that retro 70s sort of vibe with the cute decals. I would maybe think 12 to 18 on them. But we'll see. All right, so this piece here, I have not found out who made this yet. I feel like I found out at some point in the past, and I don't remember. I've seen this exact bottle or vase listed as Empoli. I've seen it as Ellie Smith. I've seen it as Fenton. I've seen it as Imperial. It's got this really cool, not quite crimped, but, you know, sort of crimped top to it. And this, what would you call that? Like ribbon or something vertical here. And this is that English hobnail? Is that the like diamond point hobnail? Is that what's called English hobnail? If you see right here, this little kind of white speck right here, that, if you look down on the inside, you kind of see it down here, sort of right in front of where my finger is. So that is a glass inclusion. It's pretty common with pieces like this. This is a pressed glass piece. I probably won't be able to show you on here on the camera, but there's two seams on each side. So it's machine made. It's just pressed glass. It does have a smooth polished base. There's no signature mark or anything in there, but that piece down there, you know, it scared me at first. I thought it was like a spider nest or something, but it's just glass. It's just inclusions in the glass. It's probably some of the material used in making the glass, and it got trapped in there. But I wanted to show you guys that because that's a really good example of a very large example of a glass inclusion. And it doesn't hurt the piece or anything. It doesn't affect its ability to do its job as a vase. It's just, it's one of those things that Well, if you didn't ever know, now you know. That's a good example of one there. What this would go for, again, I would think maybe 12 to 18. It's that real vibrant blue color. So, you know, a lot of people like this color. I love this color. It's one of my favorite colors for glass and stuff. It's just so pretty. It's very close to that colonial blue, like that Fenton colonial blue color. That's what it very much reminds me of. I don't think it's necessarily a Fenton piece though. All right, so this one here is not an oar, although it looks like an oar, and I get that. It's a hand-blown bottle, but this is actually an ink pouring bottle, and it's in that depression glass pink color. And I do think it dates probably to the 30s or 40s, somewhere in there. It's got an applied handle. It's blown glass, and you can see kind of the lip on here. There's no chips or cracks on it, but I did note like a little rough area here. However, I don't think it's a chip and crack. I think it's it's just a very crudely blown piece of glass is what I think it is. There's some little, bubbles and stuff occasionally in the glass, but it's overall pretty nice. The bottom here has been smoothed. When you hear people talk about the base on glass smooth, this is the smooth they're talking about. Okay, so this is where the pontil was, which would be the rod where they blow the glass. This is where the pontil would have been attached. They break that off, and then they smooth out the glass. Okay, so you can still feel where the pontil was on here, but it's not sharp. You're not going to hurt yourself on it. It's very, very smooth. When you're looking at like Murano pieces of glass, and you'll hear people say, the base is smooth and polished. Polished would be typically in reference to like fire polishing the base. And see how this kind of has a satin sheen to it? So they didn't polish the base. They smoothed it. They didn't polish it, however. And that polishing is what would make it look like this, like more clear. And Murano glass, typically, anyway, that's what the bases of theirs would look like. It would be smooth, similar to such. They usually completely ground out the pontil and everything, and it would be pretty clear. This little, it's kind of like a stamp. The back side of it's almost kind of like that gummy material, like a little sticker thing. But it's Dog Patch, Lake Ozarks, Missouri. It's a little tourist store. I believe it's still open over in Lake of the Ozarks, and they started in 1931. And so I do think this piece probably dates to somewhere back around that time, just because of the color and stuff of it. So this piece here, it's going to be hard to show you with the light. It's going to kind of drown it out. But I've seen people refer to this as either just simply a milk glass hobnail, candy dish, or they refer to it as either Fenton or L.E. Smith. And I went and consulted my glass books, and sure enough, it is L.E. Smith. The Fenton version looks very similar to this, but the Fenton version typically has that like more ruffled, typical Fenton top to it. And this one is, well, you can see it's kind of a little more like scroll work, maybe. The feet on the Fenton one are also different. They're similar like in the shape, but they kind of have a little more design to them. It's no chips, no cracks on it. It's very pretty. Got a little bit of weight to it. I want to say it was roughly 5 or 6 inches in diameter. I want to say it was around 5. But really cool 3-footed little dish, little candy dish. This one here is a Belleek vase. You can see the mark on it there. I believe this is their 11th mark, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that was in the 80s, 1980s maybe. So it's just this really pretty vase, and it has the applied pink roses on here, which even like the rose buds, they are just so dainty and well done. And I don't see any petals missing, no chips, no cracks. I kept bubble wrap over this part right here of it this whole time that I've had it, just to attempt to ensure that no damage occurred to these, because I couldn't believe that there's no chips, there's no cracks, there's no damage. It's just wild to me. Not only on the flowers, but then up here on the top. It's beautiful. And I love the mold on this glass here. It kind of reminds me of like that pulled feather look in glass, or that peacock sort of look. is what that reminds me of. Belleek items can sell really, really well. There's a lot of it that goes for just kind of your, median to lower end prices, but there's a lot of it that can sell really, really well. So it's worth scrolling through it and looking at comps and stuff every once in a while. I'll put a couple up here for comps that were this exact vase, and then I think I pulled one or two for ones that were similar to it, just to kind of give you guys an idea price-wise, on this particular one. But definitely go check out Belleek. All right, this one here is a fairy light. It's a clear fairy light, and this looks like hobnail, but it's actually referred to as Thousand Eye. It's a Duncan Miller piece. I'm not positive the exact age on it. I think it is mid-century or leaning into the mid-century years at least. No chips, no cracks on it. I really, really love this pattern. Yes, it's clear. Yes, it's basic, and clear tends to not carry a super high value. But I gotta say, especially in this pattern, clear is my favorite because you can put whatever flipping color you want in here, like via fairy lights or whatever. And it is so cool. Each one of these little hobnail Thousand Eyes, like, just picks up the light and just refracts it. I mean, it's just really, really cool. Really neat piece. And the fact that there's no damage on it makes it all the much more beautiful. I really, really like it. There's no marks or anything on it. I'll put a couple comps up here just to kind of give you guys an idea of on average where it sells and everything. But this is one of my favorite ones. I love the look of that. All right, guys, this last one here, I believe to be Murano. I generally will never put in my listing like Murano glass. I will always put in the style of Murano or Murano style glass, art glass. I do strongly believe this one to be Murano, but if it has no signatures, if it has no marks, stickers, the things to give me a little bit more to go on, to rely on for it, I hate to put it in the listing that way. I'll usually put it in the description that I believe it to be Murano. But I like to leave it up to the buyer if there's no true identifying mark, because, China, Mexico, other glass houses, just in Italy even, have done glass that is very much in the style of Murano, and it can be very deceiving, very difficult to tell, because it's not like it's just crap glass. It's decent looking glass, Some of it you really got to get deep and inspect on to know. So I just don't like stating that unless I can confidently 100% feel like I'm correct on it. But I do believe this to be Murano. You can see the Belleek in here with the controlled bubbles. It is, I think they refer to this as like double layered, but it technically is like one piece of glass, but they make it like double layered out here, if you can tell. It's an ashtray. I see a lot of people refer to them as candy dishes and stuff like that. And I think that's what a lot of people use them for these days. But in all actuality, it was originally made as an ashtray. It's kind of that hot pink color. The base on it here is nice, smooth, and polished. It does have that, kind of normal age wear, minor scratching and stuff. And it does have one little or a couple little dings, on here. But nothing major, nothing that detracts from the piece or anything like that. It's just a very pretty piece. It weighs about, I want to say around 2 pounds, pound and a half, 2 pounds. So it'll be a little bit to ship, but it's size-wise, I want to say it was close to 6 inches in diameter, So, it won't be too bad. But I thought I'd throw in some pretty glass into my whatnot sale. So I noticed this evening that I hit 300 subscribers, which is mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. And I wanted to share that with you guys. I tried to catch it, sort of any of those very small milestones, but nonetheless, a milestone. And I try to catch it and get a little snapshot of it and put it up here for you guys. I just want to thank all of you guys for hanging out, tuning in my videos, and certainly watching them to the end. And it means a lot to me. Again, of course, it means a lot to the channel and all that, but it definitely means a lot to me. I'd really like it if you guys came and checked out my live sale this coming Saturday, January 6th at 7 p.m. Go over to either the Whatnot app or the Whatnot website and you'll be able to check it out. My name over there is Pieces of the Past KC. I'll have a link and everything in the description of the video for you guys. But feel free to come hang out and just chit chat and enjoy the show. No pressure to bid or buy anything. I just want to enjoy everybody's company. So come check out the show, see how it goes. Again, it'll be my very first live sale. It'll be interesting. It'll be humorous if nothing else. So hope to see you guys Saturday, and I'll see you on the next one.